What's going on, y'all? BroncoJuggalo here, doing a review inspired by videos from my bros, Jason and Joe, the other parts of the Super Slash Bros, Horrific Nightmares Jam, and the Horror Man. Now, this is Roadhouse 2024. Haven't done a movie like this in quite a while. Directed by Doug Liman, or Limon, I'm not sure how it's pronounced. Starring Jake Gyllenhaal as Dalton and Conor McGregor as Knox. Ex-UFC fighter Dalton hires on to protect the Roadhouse, a bar in the Keys, from a drug lord and his inept but ambitious son. I do know that there has been a lot of negativity about this film, and I have some good things to say about it, and I have some bad things to say. One thing I found funny is that J.D. Pardo, who was the star of The Mayans, is now just a small-time player in this movie. And I thought that was kind of interesting, how I wonder, not saying this is a step down as a film, but the role he's in is so small. I wonder if that was chosen, or I wonder if that is where his career is at, because The Mayans last few seasons did not do so well. Just wondering. Now, I do think that this should not have been a remake. I do think that Roadhouse is one of those films maybe we shouldn't get a remake of. Not saying that I didn't enjoy this movie. I just don't think it should have been a remake. I feel like it should have been a spin-off. Like, we should have had some dialogue in there where somebody's asking Dalton about his name. And he's like, yeah, my mom was obsessed with this movie called Roadhouse, where this guy was beating up all kinds of people. So not only did I get named after him, but I ended up becoming a bouncer too. Crazy, huh? I just think that would have worked out. All right, let's get into the negatives. The biggest negative in this movie, guys, the biggest negative, and I'm just going to combine two. CGI fights, CGI action. Now, not every fight in there is CGI, but a lot of them are, and it looks terrible. The CGI is absolutely terrible. It's crap. It's complete and utter crap. I don't know why they did it. I don't see why they needed to do it. It made no sense, especially when you got real fighter in there, and Jake Gyllenhaal's been in the octagon. He's a fighter. You know, I just don't get it at all. Why they needed to do fake CGI fights. I've said this before in a couple of the films, and I can't remember which one right now I said it about recently, but it wasn't that far back I said this. There is more ways to aim a camera, more ways to shoot a movie than fucking close-ups. Why all the close-ups? That's all this movie is. It's like right up on the actor's face all the freaking time. They're not giving off that much emotion. This isn't one of those movies. I don't need to be that close to their face. And this one is a slight spoiler. But in the original movie, Dalton kills a guy. And then, action shit happens. And 80s action movie stuff happens. And people end up dying, but there's a regret there. There is turmoil. There's inner struggle. In this one, Dalton, who is already plagued by the turmoil, then he kills a guy, and he just goes completely like fucking psychotic, cold-blooded killer. And I thought that was weird. And then at the end of the film, he's back to normal. Also weird. Now then, the pros. Funny as hell. This movie was funny as hell. Number two, this movie is mindless fun. If you're in just for a fun action film, this is a movie for you. It is reminiscent of the action film of the 80s, minus the CGI fights and, action. There is a bar fight that was not CGI, so that's 4 good things so far. At least I don't think it was CGI, and if it was, that's the one they did a really good job on. Number 5, I really liked the Enter Sandman remix at the end of the movie. That was cool. And number 6, and the biggest and most important, is, oi, Conor fucking McGregor, I'll break your fucking face, mate. I fucking loved Conor McGregor in this movie. He is fucking hilarious. Hilarious. Loved him. Loved to see him in a lot more stuff, especially when he's basically being an even bigger douchebag version of himself. I'm not trying to be mean, but that's what he's being. He's being Conor McGregor with the douchebag cranked up to 1,000. I mean, he plays a character named Knox, and Knox is tattooed across his stomach 3 times. But, he's naked in multiple scenes, And that's not the cool part. Well, it is kind of cool because he's hilarious in that. And when he's walking out kind of like he does to the UFC octagon ring, kind of like that strut. And it's just fucking hilarious the way it plays off. I fucking loved Connor in this. I thought Connor was the highlight of this movie. Everything about it, when he stepped into it, was just 10 times better. They tried to get a little deep with the bar owner and why she was doing it. And they also kind of tried to go with a little bit of the wokeness stuff. I don't know if it was so much wokeness, really, actually. I don't really want to go that far into it. I think it was trying to show in a good way how you can have inclusiveness and you can have representation and you can do all this without it bothering anything. They did a good job on that. They did it. I love the line where she's like, yeah, a black bar owner in the South or something like that in the 60s, that had to be tough. That's true. Sorry about all that noise. My kids don't know how to shut up. Anyways, I liked the movie, guys. It was good. It was fun. I liked this movie, guys. I thought it was absolutely excellent. I mean, I'm not saying it's a perfect film. I'm not even saying it's a by the numbers good film, but it was a fun film. And that's all that matters. Guys, check out this movie. This is BroncoJuggalo.